What does this say about Labour and who they value in our society then?
Unless the Tories get their act together, I'm not going with them either. I'll be with Reform, because I really think we need a revolution.
This new mayor has got big fans in Polanski and Sadiq Khan. I know you love them guys.
That says everything that we all need to know.
Welcome to the Daily Expresso. Today, I'm joined by the firecracker, Carole Malone. Carole, I've got to say, you actually, look, there's no digs about how old you are. I was going to say a joke about Halloween's finished. I could have said Halloween's over, but you're still wearing a costume. I'm not going to say that, okay? I'm not going to make any jokes about that. I was going to say, you look nice today. I like the top.
Do you know what? I'm doing brown now. Apparently it's in fashion, brown.
It is.
But I feel a little bit dull.
Do you?
Yeah, I've been doing some telly today and I saw myself on the screen. I depressed myself. I'm not sure brown for me. But anyway.
It suits you. You look good.
Oh, well, that's very
good.
nice, yeah. I don't know how you would
look
know
like
that.
the Sugar Puff monster.
The what?
Honey Puff, Sugar Puff.
What is that
The
then?
monster from the cereal. It's yellow, but it's this kind of furry
So
material.
it's yellow and I'm wearing brown and I look like the sugar. You're talking tosh and we haven't even started on the serious stuff yet. Okay.
Right, let's get into
Right,
it.
get on.
After Rachel Reeves' preemptive budget warning yesterday, the country, the markets and the pound are still reeling as we all try to decipher who is going to be targeted by what sounds like a raft of tax hikes. Well, I think if you are a pensioner, a landlord, a property owner, a professional, self-employed, a student, whatever, you should be very worried about what's in store. Carole, I feel like we're all going to be screwed from this, but what did you make of the speech?
You know what? I actually looked at it and thought she's actually not well. And I seriously mean that. When you have a chancellor saying, this particular chancellor saying, in my last budget, I fixed the foundations. And she didn't say it once, she said it twice. This is a chancellor who has imposed the highest taxes on record and is about to do exactly the same thing again. Mm-hmm. And when she kept on saying, I fixed the foundations, she wouldn't need to be putting the taxes she's about to put on us all if she had fixed the foundations. Mm-hmm. It's delusional. It's dangerous. I don't know who she thinks she's convincing with this tosh. No one's buying it, and all it does is make her look like she's ready to go to the funny farm, because it is insanity to say what she's saying. And this is what. And she had this breakfast meeting yesterday. She got all the media ready for breakfast, and you think, oh, this is going to be good. We're going to find out. She's going to tell us, and she's going to calm the waters. Uh-huh. So all the businesses that are worried, it's going to calm them down. She said nothing. She said absolutely nothing in that budget, apart from praising herself and blaming everyone but herself for the state the country's in. She blamed Trump. Mm-hmm. She blamed Brexit. She blamed Liz Truss. She blamed COVID. She even brought George Osborne in this time. That's a new one on me. She brought him into it. Not understanding that the one person who has cocked up this entire country in 40 months is her. Mm-hmm. And it's that kind of self-delusion that makes you think, in years to come, history will look back on this period in our political history, and they'll say, how did such a stupid woman, a woman who has no knowledge of economics, how did she get to run Britain's finances into the ground? Why didn't somebody drag her out by the heels, screaming if need be? Why didn't they get rid of it? It is astonishing that, productivity is stagnant. She's chucked billions at the NHS, JJ, since, in the last 15 months. And waiting lists have gone down by something like 250,000. That's all. It's nothing, despite the billions. It's still at 7.36 million, the waiting list. She's done nothing. Productivity is at an all-time low. Inflation is at an all-time high. Our inflation is 1% higher than the Eurozone. And we were the same, all of us. It was about 1.7 when she took over. And she's just not taken responsibility for it. So you just think, how can, and what she's going to do this time, every striver in this country is going to be penalised, particularly, the middle classes. This is people who have done everything right in their lives. They've got good jobs. They've stretched themselves to buy houses. They've tried not to be an imposition on the state. Mm-hmm. They've earned their own way. And yet they are going to be clobbered in this budget. And Reeves said, we all, what's her favourite phrase now? We all have to bear the burden or something. No, we don't. The millions on welfare aren't going to blame the burden. The people who can't be bothered to work aren't going to bear the burden. It's the people who do work and the people who are barely surviving as it is who are going to get clobbered. And it will go all the way down. She said she wouldn't tax working people. Well, she's got now she's clearly going to do that. And she's trying to redefine the definition of a working person. She's saying a working person is someone who earns below 46 grand. Well, tell the train drivers, the nurses, the teachers who are all on more than 46 grand, tell them that they're not the workers. She's going to get all of them as well in all of this. So,
what does this say about Labour and who they value in our society then?
I don't think it's about... Do you mean the Labour politicians or people who vote Labour?
Well, the Labour politicians, yeah.
What it says is everything to me, that Starmer knows she's hopeless, he knows she's a busted flush, but if he sacks her, it reflects badly on him, because every decision she makes has to go past him. And so what it says is we have gutless politicians who don't give a stuff about this country. They don't give a stuff about the people they're going to hammer in the next 3 weeks. They care about their own position. Starmer would want to get rid of it. I think both of them would be gone shortly after the budget. But Starmer cares more about hanging on to his job and not getting rid of a person who was destroying the country. He cares more about hanging on to his job than saving the country. And I think they're all the same. They're all self-interested. They pretend they're socialist, that they're of the people. No, they're not. They're of themselves. People can say what they like about the Tories. The Tories were nowhere near as bad as this. At least they were fiscally competent. Yeah. This woman doesn't know what she's doing. We're paying 100 billion quid a year now just to pay the interest on our debt, and she's going to increase that. She's already spent 100 billion quid more than the stuff the Tories had planned. She's put 100 billion quid on top of that. And when you say to her, are you going to cut public spending? No, she's not. She needs to do that. But she knows that strikes at the heart of Labour, the voters, the people in the public, in public services. So she's not going to cut any of that. It's astonishing.
So, like, our parents, working class, where we were raised working class, we have working class mentalities. For everyone who's like us, both who are working class still and who have left the working class, so to speak, where do we go now? We hated the Tories for 14 years of austerity and
you might
the country.
Have
Most of us didn't like.
I did in the last 2 years because it was chronically bad.
Yeah, but and then Labour was supposed to come in and we're back. They're going to save us all. And now we're in a worse position than we were before.
I don't know where. Do you mean where do we go to vote next?
Yeah.
Well, unless the Tories get their act together, I'm not going with them either. I'll be with Reform, because I really think we need a revolution. I believe we need a revolution. Farage will not be as good as he says he's going to be. But I just think we have to get rid of these two tired old parties, the Tories and the Labour Party. The Tories in the last 2 years did nothing. However, they look really good now compared to what Labour has done. And when you think back, you think, oh my God, for those days. But there's nowhere else to go for people like me and people like you.
Yeah.
I'm not voting for the Greens. I'm not voting for this stupid Ed Davey. He's a guy who cares more about stunts than he does about politics. But so there's nowhere for us to go apart from Reform, and I think that's going to be the case for a lot of people in this country. They will vote for Reform because they'll say, probably for the same reason a lot of people voted for Labour. Labour said, well, they can't be worse than the Tories. Well, they are. So I think a lot of people will go for Reform using that same argument.
Well, let's talk about the Greens, because across the pond, the left had what feels like their first win in a long, long time as the socialist candidate Zohran Mamdani won the New York mayoral election. His victory was celebrated in the early hours by your favourites, Carole, Zach Polanski and Sadiq Khan. But he now faces the wrath of Donald Trump, who had threatened to cut federal funds to New York if Mamdani won. After the victory, Trump posted the cryptic message, "So it begins." Now, Carole, is this new mayor, he's got big fans in Polanski and Sadiq Khan. I know you love them guys.
That says everything that we all need to know. The worst mayor that London has ever had, the one that's got London up to its eyeballs in debt, in knife crime, is praising the new New York mayor. It's interesting, I think this is a protest vote in New York on behalf of, made by, I should say, the elitists in New York who just hate Trump and hate everything he stands for, and hate the Democrats. Sorry, the Republicans. I'm going mad here. See, I'm stressed. I'm stressed even talking about it. they just hate the Republicans and they hate Trump. So they voted someone in here. I mean, this guy only became a US citizen in 2018. And, I don't give a stuff about the fact he's Muslim. I couldn't care less. And although Trump might, I couldn't care less. I just want him to do a good job. And like I wanted Sadiq Khan to do a good job. If he gets, crime down in New York, if he cleans the city up, fantastic. That's good. But I believe he's been put there for probably all the wrong reasons. I hope he surprises us all, and I hope he's brilliant. But I suspect if Polanski and Khan are saying he's brilliant, I don't suppose for 1 second he can be.
Yeah.
Can he?
Now, Khan has got his own problems right now. We just learned that another prisoner has been mistakenly freed. Wandsworth Prison, that's under Khan's jurisdiction. A 24-year-old Algerian man mistakenly released from prison, and now we've got another manhunt.
How can you be mistakenly released? I don't understand this.
Human error.
Human error twice in a fortnight. I mean, it's just bizarre. Presumably you get notification of people to be released.
You get a list of names.
And where does that list come from?
From the Home Office, through the prison systems, and sometimes through the courts, depending on. So one of the big problems they have is people on remand. So the courts say, right, we've got these 25 prisoners from this prison, one's being caught today. So then they print out a list, and the prison guard goes through, is like, yep, 25 people, get on the bus.
Wouldn't you think that after the release of the Epping pervert, wouldn't you think that they'd be doing extra checks right now? You think they'd be a little bit more conscientious about who they're letting out. Now, this guy they've let out, he was on remand for something spurious, but he has been found guilty of sexual offences in the past. So there he is, 24 years, he's out. He's not going to hand himself in like, the previous guy did. He's going to doing God knows what. But this can't keep on happening. It's bad enough that we're releasing prisoners early, but if we're releasing the wrong prisoners early, ones who are a danger to women, it's unbelievable. I don't know about you, but I wake up most days now. I mean, I'm old now, as you keep on pointing out, and I've seen lots of governments in this country, and I've never been as terrified as I am by this one, because I've never seen this level of incompetence on every level. Every level.
How did you feel under Churchill? Must have been tough.
I'm just gonna. I might even just break your laptop. But I am really scared. I'm scared of the level of incompetence that we're seeing in every area, every day.
Yeah.
It's, you think if you can't control who you're letting out onto the streets, well, God help us all. I mean, who's going to be next? They're going to let out a murderer next, a mass murderer? Yeah. Are they?
Perhaps.
I mean, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, and will heads roll for it? No, they won't.
Probably not.
And that's the other thing.
Not the right heads anyway.
But this is the other thing. There's no one's accountable for anything anymore. So we hear about hellish things, terrible things happening. I mean, the person who let out the Epping sex offender, has anyone been sacked over that? Yeah. No, of course they haven't.
But people say the prison staff are understaffed.
Don't care.
Not given enough support, and that's all down to do with
cuts.
List.
They've got a list. Get the right piece of check on the list.
You know what we should do? We should get you on a reality TV show. You and I can go into the prisons and be prison guards for a week.
Oh, I'd love it.
And we can see what it's like.
I'd bring Law and Order back in a week. I would.
You would, actually. You would.
Just
the prisoners would be begging for you to leave.
Yeah, they would. They really would.
Let's go back to Trump, because yesterday we spoke about the beef he has with the BBC after it turned out they doctored footage of him to make him seem like he instigated the Capitol Hill riots. Yes. And you want to tell us more about some of the BBC's other dodgy work, pumping out disinformation abroad.
But before we move on to that, some areas of the media aren't really giving this the coverage it should have. This is incredibly serious. This is what Big Brother is all about. This is what happens in Putin's Russia. It's what happens in Kim Jong-un's North Korea, where a government or a government body, the state TV station, pumps out lies to try and brainwash people. They try to make people believe a lie is the truth. And that is what the BBC has done here. And it's nothing short of shocking. And they should not only should people be fired over this, they should be jailed over this. You cannot, when you're the state broadcaster, make up news. It's beyond shocking to me.
Yeah.
So all that was bad enough, and we've got the whistleblower on this. It was a guy who used to be on their standards committee. He put out this 19-page dossier, and so we heard something yesterday. The latest stuff is even more shocking, and it's talking about the BBC's Arabic station. which is funded partly by the Foreign Office and partly by us, the taxpayers. Now, what they have done, what this dossier has made clear now, is that the allegations made against Israel were raced to air without adequate checks. Mm-hmm. And what they chose to do was minimalise Israeli suffering, and they were listening to Hamas's lies about the number of deaths and just going to air with them immediately without checking them. They had so-called journalists on there who were calling for the death of Jews. And they had these journalists on more than 400 times, calling for the death of Jews on the BBC, saying they were the culprits in all of this. So the guy who's put out this dossier is a guy called Michael Prescott, and he was on their guidelines committee. He is saying that he put all of this to the senior people in the BBC, and he said they just weren't listening. They didn't think it was a bad thing. The head of BBC Two news coverage said something like, read the Trump stuff. We edit films every day. No, you don't edit films to tell lies. And if you do, how ingrained is this problem at the BBC? I mean, some of this stuff here from about the Hamas lies. He's saying that he said they've given a platform to journalists who were anti-Semitic. One of them said Jews should be burned as Hitler did. That's a journalist, supposedly. That guy was on air 244 times in 18 months. Another guy described Jews as devils, and these people were journalists, and yet they were given airtime. How come the bosses at the BBC aren't monitoring that? How come they're not seeing that? Yeah. And the fact that we're having to pay for this tosh, to me, is just beyond belief. It's sinister. It's terrifying. See, it's Big Brother. This is what Big Brother is all about.
Well, from one dubious British institution to a British icon. It's official. Arise, Sir David Beckham. After decades of sucking up, schmoozing, queuing, kneeling and emailing, Bex has finally gone and done it. He's now officially a Knight of the Realm. Yesterday, Golden Balls went to Buckingham Palace and was given the honour of a lifetime. He was knighted by King Charles. Kaz, are you happy for him?
Do you know what? I'm my bum's on the fence on this one, because I do like Beckham and I think he's decent. I know he desperately wants this, and I know that he's waited for years for it. And he's a nice bloke and he's done a bit for charity. I know all that. But, Beckham has been richly rewarded in his life for everything that he has ever done. I think the honour system is cockamamie. I think awards should be given to ordinary people who've done extraordinary things.
Yes.
And, two of them, spring to mind last week, on the train at the weekend of this, where the guy went mad stabbing people. Mm-hmm. Two people on that train. The train driver, Andrew Johnson. He was the guy who diverted it to Huntingdon so that people could get off the train. And also it's been revealed the other guy who actually tackled the knife man was a guy called Samir Zitoun. And, he's still in hospital. Mm-hmm. And he's been hurt quite badly, but he stopped this guy killing people. He stopped it. They're the kind of people, for me, who should be honoured. They're the kind of people who should be Sir Samir and Sir Andrew, not this. And I suppose, I'm looking at Beckham now, and he said things that kind of make your heart sing. He said, this is literally of everything I've ever done. This is the proudest moment of my life. And I get that he's proud. I get it. And he's a nice bloke. What I don't like is the fact she's now Lady Beckham, actually. That's the other thing. I mean, I'm just looking at the picture of her here. She's looking if she was unbearable before, she's going to be even more so now. But anyway, and he was talking about, bless him, the fact that Charles had said to him how fantastic his morning suit was. Yeah. And it's a very nice morning suit. Very lovely. And he said Victoria made it. I'm not believing that. Anyway, but he said he grew up watching Prince Charles and thinking how sharp he always looked and how great his suits were. And he wanted to kind of honour him in that way. So all of that is lovely. It's lovely. But, sirships and great honours should be reserved for extraordinary people. That's what I think.
Well, I think his career has been extraordinary.
And he's been richly rewarded for it financially.
True.
Also, he's been rewarded in terms of respect. He has enormous respect in this country because of his political career. And it's the
Football career.
Yeah, the football career. And also, we have Brand Beckham. So his football career has fed Brand Beckham, which has made them both multi-millionaires beyond our wildest dreams. So to me, you say, I think that's reward enough. I don't think you need Sir in front of your name for that. And I certainly get angry when governments give them to their mates, when the prime ministers give them to their stupid mates who've done them a favour or made donations to the party or whatever. I mean, that is just a complete aberration to me. But
I think you're right. Listen, for once I actually agree with you.
Oh, do you? Oh, good. There we go. I must have got it wrong then. Anyway.
When we were banging our saucepans for the nurses during COVID, we're on the street saying, they're our heroes. I'd like to have seen all of our nurses actually who risked their lives for COVID to help save lives be given MBEs and such, but it just doesn't happen. Well,
no, it doesn't happen, and I just think the bravest in our society, people like this guy Samir, Samir, you kind of know what you're made of, don't you, when you face a situation like that? I often wonder what I would do in that kind of situation. I always think I'm a big tough thing, but if there's a bloke wielding a 10-inch knife, maybe you're not going to be as tough.
I would hope you'd just run in that situation.
Well, you see, I would hope I wouldn't actually, but I think I might. But someone like Samir did not run, and he took this guy on head on.
Yeah.
And he stopped people from dying, literally stopped people from dying. And if he doesn't get made a Sir, I'll take to the streets myself on it. He should be.
Okay.
Absolutely should be.
There we go. Campaign for Samir. Sir Sam.
We should do that on the paper.
We should do on the paper. You do it in your column.
And for Andrew, do it in yours. We'll both do it.
Okay. Yeah. All right, fine. Deal.
Right. Yeah. I know your column's new when you're a rookie at it, but maybe someone's reading it somewhere.
Well, a big part of Beckham's brand is pride in being British. He's a great ambassador across the globe. He was instrumental in bringing the Olympics to London in 2012. But another person who's trying to big up his British pride credentials is Prince Harry, who has written a new essay for Remembrance Sunday on the banter and bravery that makes him proud to be British. He said the banter of the mess, the clubhouse, the pub, the stands are the things that make us British, and I love it. Good on Harry, I say, Carole.
He loves Britain so much. He ran away from it 5 years ago, claiming we were all a bunch of racists.
He ran away to protect his wife.
No, he did not.
He loves his wife more than he loves
Britain. His wife was not in any danger.
That's not what the police say. The special forces say that there's credible threats.
The police never said she was in danger.
They said there's credible threats to her life.
No, they did not. She was, in fact, at the time, she was actually, no one got a warmer welcome to this country than Meghan Markle. She was adored in this country at the beginning. We were all willing to, I thought there'd be more pushback against her in the beginning, but there wasn't. The country welcomed her with open arms. But, she sees racism and everything. Anyway, as Harry did. So he left this country. He abandoned his duties. The family he adores, supposed to love. He abandoned the monarchy, the institution of the monarchy, and ran away to America. So this is not a man who loves his country.
He fought for his country, Carole.
He might have fought for it, but then he ran away. Then he ran away from it. Also, I just want to point out an essay, right? An essay is not 650 words. That's 10 paragraphs, people out there. That's 10 paragraphs. It's not an essay, and I can guarantee he didn't write it. But anyway, you can't talk about British values and what makes Britain great when you fled the country. Calling British people racist. You can't. He didn't want to be in this country at all. And everything Harry does is about Harry. This is all about him trying to worm his way back. I don't know what's happening to him in America. Well, I do. He's a laughingstock in America now. And he can't earn any money there because he's spilled his guts on everything that he knows. So he's got nothing more to sell. The royal family don't talk to him, so he's got no more tidbits to sell. So now he has to try and find a way of getting back. And we've seen that over the past 6 months. He's come back to the country. He's had a meeting with his dad. Couldn't wait to tell the world about that. Supposed to be a private meeting. Told everyone. So this is a man who was trying to worm his way back, left in a fit of pique and all the rest of it. And now he's realising there is no role for him anywhere else in the world. So he wants to come back to Britain where it would be nice for him again because he'd be taken care of. And looked after. So this is all about Harry. This is all about him repairing.
He does not need to come back to England.
Yes, he does.
They've made over 100 million since they moved to the US. They don't need to work a single day in their lives.
You say they've made 100 million. No, they might have well, they might have earned 100 million, but they'll have spent very close to that. They live in they live in Montecito. You can't breathe in Montecito unless you've got a fortune of 100 million in the bank. Anyway, and they've spent it, and now all of those big money contracts have gone. You know, the big Netflix one has gone. They're still working with Netflix, but on a totally different deal. The Spotify dumped them. So now those big money contracts aren't around, which is precisely why he suddenly loves Britain again.
Isn't this simply a man who used to be a soldier, who's dedicated his post-war life to fighting for veterans, and all he's doing is writing a poem, an essay, saying, remember our fallen soldiers, and also remember the ones who are still here. We need to remind them that their service still matters. That's what this is about.
Why has he not said that before, I wonder?
He has said it before.
No,
he does the Invictus Games, Carole.
Yes, he does that, but he's not done much towards the Invictus Games since the 5 years he's been away. He's been too busy earning money on other things. But I'm just looking why he's done this, because he's going to Canada. Is it Canada he's going to?
He's going to Canada, yeah.
And he's got a big thing with vets there. So what he's done before he gets there, he's trying to say a few things about vets to make him look good. Look, I know he served, but you know he's not the only member of the royal family to have served and to have distinguished himself. Mm-hmm. You know, in fact, I got a bit queasy the other day when they said they were going to take Prince Andrew's Falklands Medal away, because although I have no time for the man at all, and I'm glad he's being stripped of all his other titles, I don't think you should be stripping a title of a prince who actually has fought. I don't think that's a good or a decent thing to do. I agree
with that.
So. But for Harry, I just think, you know, if you love your country, he's starting to love this country now, because the other country he's living in doesn't really want him there. They think he's a joke.
Finally, Country Life magazine has detailed 39 key signs that make someone a true gent. It's a bit long, 39 if you ask me. But the list includes some preposterous things. Here's some things that I'm good at that make me a gentleman.
I bet you moisturise.
I do moisturise.
I knew
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's quite high on the list.
It is. Also being a good kisser. So I'm a great kisser.
Yeah, probably not that.
I'm a fantastic
Who's told
kisser.
you that?
You know.
Huh?
You know.
I don't. How do I know?
You know.
No.
You know.
I think when someone says I'm a fantastic kisser, that means they're not. I mean, you know, the guys who are fantastic kissers do not boast about it. They don't.
Learn and use waiters' names. I often do that. I
think that's a great thing. You know, I think it's really important, because I think waiters have a really tough time, and I think it's a really, I literally try to do it, especially when I go on holiday and I'm seeing the same waiters every day if we're in a hotel.
Yes.
And I swear to God, you know, I don't do it for this reason, but you get incredible service because they like you. And so if someone likes you, they're going to go the extra mile for you. You
absolutely.
ask for something, they go, we haven't got it, but hang on, I'll get you this. That's what they do. And it's showing respect.
Absolutely.
For someone who's doing a job that isn't always pleasant.
Indeed.
Because there are some tossy people out there.
Yeah, there are.
No, it's not me. You won't find me losing it in restaurants with people. I was thinking of James Corden. Remember he's
a terrible patron.
A terrible person in restaurant, yeah. So, but they get treated like, I can't say the word because we're on air, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
They get treated badly by a lot of people. So I think that's really important.
What things on the list?
So this is what I thought. So a gentleman is the one who thinks Roger Moore was the best James Bond ever. Not entirely sure that's true.
I think it's Pierce Brosnan, to be honest.
I do.
Yeah,
I
wonderful.
do. I fancied him like crazy.
Yeah.
And do you know, even now,
he's still got it.
He was in that thing recently with Helen Mirren.
Yes.
Hot.
Yes. Very,
I
very
don't know how old he is,
man.
but because he's still got his hair. It's gone grey.
Yeah.
It's very good. So the moisturiser thing, yeah. What was the thing? Good, because we've done that. Enjoys gin in a tumbler, not in a balloon. Why does that make you a gent?
I don't know. I don't even drink gin.
See, I think this is a little bit up itself.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I do read Country Life because I look at the houses and the prices of the houses I can't afford and never will be able to. But some of the features are a bit annoying. But I mean, this is a little bit annoying. This one takes the nearest canapé on the tray. Now, why would you do that?
No.
If it's a prawn and you don't like a prawn,
exactly.
Why are you going to take the prawn?
Precisely.
If you're allergic to fish, why would you take the prawn?
There you go.
Because you're going to die.
You're making sense today, Carole. It makes a real change.
Can scrambled eggs without a fuss?
I mean, isn't that just basic?
It's basic.
Yeah, it's basic.
It is basic. Although my husband thinks I make them badly. This one got me. Doesn't wear tank tops to the gym. Who wears a tank top to the gym?
I mean, I wear a tank top to the gym.
What's a tank top?
Oh, a wife beater, like a vest.
What did you call it?
A wife beater. That's what they used to be called. That's the slang term for them.
I'm not entirely sure you should be saying that.
That's what people call them.
I don't care that you shouldn't be calling it. But it's like a sleeveless vest.
Just a sleeveless vest, yeah. Not the ones that people in your generation would have worn with a tie and a collared shirt.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
I think we should have
exactly
people
half
who
your
looks
age.
Better. You're not half my age.
So you've been through the whole list.
Yeah,
Would you say I'm a true gentleman?
Well, I think you are a gent, actually. Although sticking it in my throat to say it, I think you are. You're a door opener. You're a bag carrier. You carry my bags out of here because they're heavy. You do that, and you do that without me saying, carry my bag. Jack does that as well, actually.
Jack, the producer.
He does that as well.
Good lad.
So maybe you all just think I'm so old I can't carry my own bag, but I want doors open for me. I'm not the kind of woman who's going to say, do not do that.
Yeah.
I want men to defer to me, to be nice to me, to pull my seat out, not too far, obviously.
I might do that a few times.
There are some people who do that and crack your spine. But I like good manners, but I think some of these are a bit stupid. Listen more than he speaks. That's a very, gentlemen, listen, that's a very good thing.
You make my ears bleed, Carole. I can't listen to you anymore.
Yeah, my husband would say that. I can't. Doesn't care where people went to school. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
If someone says, when I tell people where I went to school, it's like, yeah. But I met an aristo once. Well, I met them more than once, but I met this particular aristo once who delighted in the fact that I came from a mining village. Oh. And he really delighted in it because he didn't know anyone who came from a mining village. And he was saying to me, tell me what it's like. And he said, what is it 2 up, 2 down? And he wasn't being patronising.
No, yeah.
He literally wanted to know.
He had no idea.
And we got on so well. He invited me to his stately home, and I still know him to this day. Oh. Driving up his drive, I'm thinking, that to me is a true gent. They don't care where you are, where you've come from, how you're educated. Mm-hmm. It's what you are now that matters, and I think that's good.
That is good. Well, it's time for me and Jack to carry your bags.
I'm not having the fact you're a good kisser. I'm not. The world is not going to believe you're a good kisser because you say so.
Ask my wife. But that is all we have time for on today's Daily Expresso. Join us again tomorrow, where we are joined by Tory MP Esther McVeigh. Bye-bye.